why not sit back, relax, and take things easy like a Sunday morn? I'm your host, Shane Lockwood. This is episode 95, and today is April 15th for about another 15 minutes or so, 2024. So I want to welcome everybody into 2024, a little late on the uptake there, but it's been a while since my last podcast, and I wanted to do a little something just for my regular listeners. This is not for my Patreon supporters at all, and which is going to upset a few people. Yeah, I just want to let you know the podcast is still alive, it's still active. There's a whole heap of stuff that I want to talk about. I just haven't had the chance to be able to sit down and record something to the level that I want to, the organisational levels, writing notes and things like that. Now, I tried to do a little bit today, but I just picked up a shift for tomorrow morning, like really early in the morning. I've got to be up at 4 o'clock to start at like 6:30. And so what's happening is this is going to be a very different episode. If you are listening to this particular podcast to relax and unwind, please do so. Do what you need to do. Focus on your breathing slowly. Slow your breathing down. Breathing in through your nose and then out through your mouth. In through the nose and then out through the mouth again. In through the nose and then out through the mouth. And I hope that you're sitting back and relaxing. If you're trying to get to sleep, close your eyes, focus on your breathing again, slow it all down, letting go of everything that's happened in the week before, and letting go of the anticipation of what you expect to happen in the week ahead. You don't know the future. Now, you can anticipate bits and pieces, but there's a 50-50 chance that a lot of that stuff won't happen. So what's happening is I don't have a full-time job. I am financially going backwards, and that's largely just from having to pay rent every week, but I'm doing part-time jobs. And there's a lot of politics involved with some of the stuff. Some of the companies are doing things where they're cutting hours from, that's the problem with casual work. It's sporadic. When you do get shifts, those shifts can be cancelled at any time. They can cut your hours, the promised hours, by 1 or 2 hours, depending on the circumstances. And they're all trying to cut costs and remain under budget and all this sort of stuff. But those companies still they're multi-million-dollar companies still trying to remain under budget, right? And it's hamstringing the economy. It's hamstringing everybody. It's causing all this inflation. And people are struggling to find work and whatnot. So I've started using apps to try and get as much work as I can. One of the things I was going to talk about was a whole heap of podcasts that I recommend. And there's a whole heap of stuff and social media stuff, not social media, but mainstream media, TV shows and movies and things that I'm going to discuss in future episodes. I was going to do that this episode, but I need to be in bed to get some sleep because I've got to be up at like 4 o'clock in the morning. It's like nearly midnight now. But one of the podcasts that I recommend is called Ice-T's Daily Game. That's ICE-T '(S) space DAILY space GAME, and it's generalized life advice. The episodes are ultra short, like under 5 minutes, and there's a lot of like ads for other projects and other podcasts and things, so there's a bit of bloat in it as well. But the pieces of wisdom that Ice-T gives out, now he used to be a pimp and a hustler, so he knows all the scams and things, right? He then went into rap music and then ended up doing a couple of movies, and then started doing TV, and ended up on Law and Order SVU, and he's been doing that for 25 years, right? So he's used to having money, he's used to having a very strong work ethic and things like that. So one of the things that he said on his podcast is like, look, I'm not gonna attack anybody. If you want to live on the dole, that's up to you. But, and he actually used the word dole. If you want to live on the dole, you want to live on welfare, that's up to you. But for me personally, I have to be working every day. I have to be working every day, otherwise I feel like I'm not contributing. So I've incorporated that into my own life and my own sort of philosophies and things like that, just generating this work ethic. And it's not just Monday to Friday, it's weekend work as well. Please excuse my phone beeping in the background. It's too far away for me to actually do anything about it right now. So I've started using apps that offer part-time work. The agencies that are offering work are playing politics. Like they'll say, oh, there's no work, but then they'll give another guy 50 hours a week, right? A guy that's been there a year, and I've been with the company for like 5 years. They're trying to tell me there's no work. I've had to beg for work, beg and scrape for try and get shifts, but they're giving people 50 hours a week that have only just walked in off the street. And there's a point where my own dignity and self-respect says I have to find something else. I need something else. So I'm using these other apps to find work and things like that. And I'm talking and networking to staff members who are becoming more and more disgruntled because these other companies, they're hiring incompetent people. They'll get brand new incompetent people, untrained people. There's no training. And so what happens is like, well, hang on, I need shifts. I need to be able to pay my rent every week. Why am I not getting the work? Right? I turn up on time. I've got the good reputation. Sometimes the clients will recommend individual employees. So they send them out once, right? And then they punish the good employee and then they swap. Then they send out these other people that don't know what they're doing when the client wants a specific worker. So here's a bit of business ideas, business wisdom. Always listen to your client, and if you can tailor what you provide to the client, you will have a client for life. And some of these businesses operate under narcissism, and it's all about them. It's all about their way of doing things, right? Forget the client. Well, hang on, the client's paying you money. So and your employee is giving a brand excellent service, why wouldn't you keep doing that over? Because you want repeated custom, you want repeated money coming in, right? And a lot of these companies are not doing that, and they are losing their contracts as a result. And I know these days common sense is a superpower. So yeah, that's just me. Anyway, I've had a bit of a rant. I just wanted to get that off my chest. I'm going to do a whole lot more episodes, so I might just call this like episode 95.5 or something like that, or episode 95A, and I'll just not have any sort of real description to it. So this was unplanned. I just had a spare moment before going to bed. I realised I could record with an iPhone, and I know the audio quality is not the best. I tried using a lavalier mic on the inside, and it was just all scratchy and stuff, so that's no good anyway. So, and I just want to say thank you for listening. This podcast will be back as soon as possible. There's a whole heap of stuff that I want to talk about, and we can talk about stuff in the Facebook group. But that's my time. I hope you take today and the rest of today easy like a Sunday morn. I'll catch you in the next episode.